So, here is my new bookshelf from IKEA. And it has 5 shelves. And now I have finally managed to sort my movie books into this shelf. I'm going to show you what kind of movie books that I have. On the top shelf I have just Star Wars books, 19 Star Wars books, and the two ones to the left are the Star Wars Chronicles for episode 4 to 6 and the prequels episode 1 to 3, and those are really expensive. They cost $150 each, so it's like 1,000 in Swedish money. And in total I have 26 Star Wars books. And on the next shelf the Star Wars books continue until here. And then I have some books about The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And here we have Grow Girl by Heather Donahue, the chick from the Blair Witch Project. She has written a book about how her career went after that movie and that she now grows marijuana. And Size Matters Not with Warwick Davis from Willow. And I Am Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan's autobiography or self-biography. 1001 movies you must see before you die, Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger's life story. And this is not a movie book, it's James Pyong. It's like a Swedish porn cartoon. And here we have the Lost Encyclopedia. And if we go down, this is the third shelf, and I have 3 books about industrial light and magic. George Lucas special effects team that does special effects, and when he started to shoot Star Wars back in 1976, there was no special effects company that could do the special effects that he deserved, so he had to make an own special effects team called Industrial Light and Magic. And after Star Wars they have made special effects for many movies, and they have won several Oscars. And here we have a book about George Lucas, and then we have some Indiana Jones books. Here is Indiana Jones, the Ultimate Guide. And then we have 1000 movies for life, Swedish sensations films, Video Ferox, VHS video cover art, a book about Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's last movie, and this book you can't buy it in Sweden. I had to order it from USA. A book about Jaws, and this is about Weta, Weta Workshop and Weta Digital. Weta is Peter Jackson's special effects company. When he started doing directing The Lord of the Rings, he created a special effects team divided into 2 companies. Weta Workshop, they make the practical effects, and Weta Digital, they make the CGI effects. Cult Cinema, about Arrow video releases, My Bible, Leonard Maltin's movie guide. This is the last one from 2015. Earlier it was published every year, but the 2015 edition was the last one. And 101 sci-fi movies you must see before you die. And this is the pocket for Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And this is the manuscript for Pulp Fiction. And then if we go down to the third shelf, we have a book about Friday the 13th, a book about Stan Winston. Stan Winston passed away in 2008, and he was a true pioneer in special effects. He made effects to the Terminator movies, Aliens, Predator, Jurassic Park, and he has made a great impact on the movie industry when it comes to special effects. A Harry Potter book, Alien, The Archive, the Dark Knight trilogy, Robocop, Mad Max Fury Road, Terminator Genesis, Anticristo, and this is a book about non-exploitation movies. And this hardbound edition is only available in 666 copies, and I have one of them in my collection. That's one of my most precious books. Murderous Passions about Jess Franco. This is volume 1, so volume 2 hasn't been released yet. A book about Clint Eastwood and Steven Spielberg, my favorite director. A James Bond book written by Roger Moore, my favorite Bond. 100 classic movies, and this is 2 movies about two books about different movies. Here we see Liza Minnelli from Cabaret, and here we have some Alien books. Alien Vault and the Book of Alien, and screenplays for both Alien and Aliens, and a book about the special effects, and Alien Woman, a book about how Ripley has influenced other movie heroines like the Bride in Kill Bill and Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies and so on. And on the bottom shelf we have books about horror movies. My favorite kind of movies. I love horror movies. And it's not a question about if I have seen all Halloween movies, all Hellraiser movies, all Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's how many times I have seen them. And if we start here to the left, we have Art of Darkness, the cinema of Dario Argento, Beyond Terror, the films of Lucio Fulci. And Lucio Fulci, he has made some of the best horror movies. The Beyond, City of the Living Dead, House by the Cemetery, and Zombie Flesh Eaters. And I have those movies on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray, and I have seen them countless of times. I never get tired of those. And horror cinema, and a book about making Friday the 13th, the first from 1980. Another book about Dario Argento, the Argento syndrome. And then we have a book about Nightmare on Elm Street, part 1 to 3, and the Hellraiser Chronicles, about Hellraiser 1 to 3, Beyond Horror Holocaust by Chas Balun. And he was a famous writer about mostly gory horror movies. And then we have slasher films. I love slasher films. Those are my favorite kind of movies, like Friday the 13th, The Burning, Madman, and so on. Going to Pieces, that's also about slasher movies. The Hellraiser films and their legacy, and a Swedish book about Hellraiser, Chainsaw Confidential by Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface in the first classic from 1974. Last House on the Left by Wes Craven, who passed away last year. One of the biggest movie directors ever. He has made Last House on the Left was his first movie. It was done in 1972, and after that he made The Hills Have Eyes and A Nightmare on Elm Street and the Scream movies. And then we have another book about making Friday the 13th and The Evil Dead Companion, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Companion, and then we have two books about splatter movies. Gorehound's Guide to Splatter Films and The Gorehound's Guide to Splatter Films of the 1980s. It was in the 1980s that the splatter movies really came through with movies like Evil Dead 2 and then we have another book, Broken Mirrors, Broken Minds, The Dark Dreams of Dario Argento, and another book about Dario Argento, John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter's movies. Halloween is my favorite. Horror, and there we have Pinhead, and truly an icon. Slasher movies, there's Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the remake from 2009, and a small book about slasher movies and a book about bad taste, Peter Jackson's splatter movie, and a very small book about the Alien movies. And this is a Swedish movie called Äkta Skräck, Real Horror, and another Swedish book about horror, skräck som fiktion och underhållning, Horror as Fiction and Entertainment. And here is a book by Jonas Danielsson called Skräckskönt. If you translate it, it's like horror nice. And Skräck, boken som Gud glömde. Horror, the book that God forgot. And 101 horror movies you must see before you die. And the official Batman Batbook. So these are many movies, many books about movies, and it has taken years and years to collect them, and I have spent quite a lot of money on these books, but I'm really proud of this collection, and sometimes I haven't read all of them, but maybe when I'm retired in like 20 years I can finally have the time to read all these books. I have read some of them, but not all of them. But as I said, I'm really proud of this collection of movie books. And I'm also going to show you two new posters. Here we have the Halloween and the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Those are not new posters, but if we open the door, then you can see my new posters. On this store I had The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. But I've had those posters for well over 10 years, so it was time to retire them. And now I have Star Wars, The Force Awakens poster. And on the bottom I have It Follows. And It Follows was a really great horror movie. I liked the music so much that I bought the soundtrack on CD. I have seen it. Star Wars The Force Awakens I have seen 2 times. Once, the first time in the cinema, and the second time on Blu-ray. And I have also bought it on DVD because I have Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on DVD. So of course I have to have The Force Awakens on DVD. And It Follows I have seen 2 times. I also have that on DVD, but not on Blu-ray, not yet. So there you have it, my new bookshelf and 2 new movie posters. So until next time, over and out.